Saskatchewan's oil and gas sector accounts for 58% of our province's methane emissions. Most of those greenhouse gas emissions come from drilling, processing, or venting oil and gas. According to the government of Saskatchewan, the oil and gas industry has made improvements in reducing methane emissions. A report shows that in 2021, emissions had dropped by 60% since 2015. That surpassed a goal the government set in 2019 in its Methane Action Plan to lower emissions by 40 to 45% by 2025. But it's up to the energy companies to report emissions to the government. And recently, there have been reports of methane leaking from oil and gas sites, or underreporting. That includes a report published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology in February. Researchers at Carleton University in Ottawa measured methane emissions from hundreds of heavy oil facilities in the province. They found facilities released almost 4 times what they reported to government.
Regulations in place now are currently trying to get to a 45% reduction by 2025. This magnitude of emissions completely scuttles that.
But Johnson says emission reduction targets are still possible, and there are solutions. In fact, in February of 2022, the federal government gave $20 million to energy companies in the province, the goal to start or continue methane reduction projects. Now, all of those companies either declined to speak with CBC or didn't respond to interview requests about those projects. But we did find one organization in the province working with those companies to reduce emissions. So we hit the road. Moosomin, a bustling town of about 2,600 people and a hub for southeastern Saskatchewan oil production. So we are here today in Moosomin at iJack Technologies, and we're going to get a look at a device that they have been marketing for the past few years that they say helps reduce methane emissions in the oil field. They have it ready for us now, so let's go take a look.
These barrels at the end are hydraulic, so this unit is hydraulically driven.
This is iJack's vapor recovery unit. It reduces methane emissions from oil storage tanks, which methane can leak out of. The device captures the gas, compresses it, and sends it down a line to a processing facility.
They could use it to generate power or and any other processes, anything they can make out of the gas or the vapors.
Beals says this can eliminate essentially all emissions on site. Oil and gas operators can actually avoid paying the carbon tax or gain environmental credits by sending the emissions to processing facilities. It's made the devices very popular, with units on order, ready to be shipped. But is this all just an attempt for oil and gas operators to collect environmental credits rather than actually having concern for the environment? Not the case, says Beals.
This is a cost for them. When you're pouring a bunch of money in to protect the environment without getting any physical return, money return, profits, I think that shows that they care about the environment.
But Emily Eaton is skeptical. She's spent her career researching fossil fuels and the oil and gas industry as a professor at the University of Regina. Eaton says more oversight of energy companies' emission reports is needed. She also says the province using 2015 as its first reporting year in its 10-year Methane Action Plan gives an inaccurate picture of emissions reduction.
2015 was the last good year before the first major downturn that we've seen recently. And so they're using a sort of all-time high as their base year from which we should be reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
But Debbie Westerman with the Ministry of Energy and Resources says 2015 was chosen because that's when a new computer system was implemented.
So because of that, we had more consistent and accurate data than we had previously. So that was our starting spot.
In the meantime, the debate continues about if these practices are effective or making progress. Ethan Williams, CBC News, Regina.